because he's trying to break Western societies, right? He wants to insert pain that our people will feel so that our societies won't be willing to continue to provide the support to Ukraine and to sustain the pressure against Putin. So I do think it's coming.
Andrea Kendall-Taylor, thank you very much for being with us this morning. Still ahead, we are learning that NATO has a plan to reinforce chemical, biological, and nuclear defenses on fears Russia may plan to use such weapons against the people of Ukraine. More live from Brussels ahead.
Sumagansa kabisa, bawat minutong lumipas. Hinahanap-hanap kita, hanap-hanapin ka. Sabik sa'yo.
Another shot.
I'm Nick Robertson, close to the border with Gaza. This is CNN.
Business is all about making connections. But some connections are easier to make than others. With a CNN partner hotel, the world is always at your fingertips. CNN partner hotels, connected to your world.
The world's biggest business stories in one place. Expert analysis from every corner of the globe. Marketplace, Africa, Asia, Europe, and Middle East. With CNN Business. worldsbiggestbusiness.com.
Once in a generation opportunity.
Technology, innovation, business.
I'm Hadass Gold in Jerusalem, and this is CNN.
All right, this just coming into CNN. We got some breaking news. The NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg just announcing that NATO will reinforce its chemical, biological, and nuclear defense systems on fears, and these are significant, fears that Russia is planning to use similar weapons of mass destruction in Ukraine. Out of an abundance of caution, NATO taking these moves. Up next, in the next hour, the President Biden, will meet with the President of the European Council before attending a special session of the group for the latest in a series of high-stakes summits underway here in Brussels right now. He's holding these meetings with Western leaders because of the Russian war against Ukraine. Every stop today is an opportunity for the President of the United States to reassert the U.S. leadership on the global stage. And all this happens amid a war that's causing increased anxiety for so many people in Europe and elsewhere, of course, around the world. At a special session of the European Council, by the way, President Biden is expected to announce here in Brussels new sanctions against Russia and also to discuss Europe's dependence on Russian oil and energy. Very big and important issue as well. Russia takes in a lot of cash as a result of those oil exports. Joining us now is the staff writer for the New Yorker magazine, CNN contributor Evan Osnos. He's also the author of the really terrific, important book, Joe Biden, The Life, the Run, and What Matters Now. Evan, thank you so much for joining us. In light of these enormous challenges facing the world leadership right now, what would be a successful outcome for this truly extraordinary?
Well, you've said it right. Well, it is really hard to overstate how extraordinary this is to have 3 of these sessions on a single day put together over the course of just a week or 10 days. You know, it is a recognition of how truly grave the immediate crisis is. As you said just a moment ago, you have now NATO acknowledging the risk of a chemical attack. The President of the United States, Biden, said on his way out of town that is a real threat. So that in itself, and addressing that, announcing it, putting Vladimir Putin on notice, that is a big piece of this. You know, he is an audience for this. And part of having a session like this, the most important word is unity, showing Vladimir Putin, showing the rest of the world that 3 weeks or a month into this war, that you do not see divisions within NATO, within the EU, that you see that they are, in a sense, steeling themselves for a very difficult and cooperative road ahead.
What Putin has done is tremendously unify the NATO alliance, and it's really impressive to see how these 30 leaders are working together. You've said, Evan, that this meeting here in Brussels is about more than just the short-term needs for more weapons in Ukraine, that it's essential. That is certainly essential, but not necessarily the whole story. What do you expect President Biden's message will be as a result of these 3 summits? He's going to be holding a news conference fairly soon.
Part of what he is signaling, Wolf, in Europe and around the world, is that the world has changed. I mean, as he said, that we are right now, because of Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, because it has effectively undermined the architecture of peace that has prevailed since the end of World War II, that we, all of us, all members of NATO, members of the EU, all have to prepare for what that means. It means changing where we get our oil and gas from. It means reducing our reliance on Russia. And fundamentally, it means beginning to regard Vladimir Putin as what he has made himself, which is a pariah. That is a profound change from the world that we've inhabited since the end of the Cold War. And part of what a summit like this does is it sends a message. It's not only a forcing mechanism that makes us make choices about how we can help Ukraine tomorrow. It's also about announcing to the rest of the world that they're beginning to organize in a way that will isolate Putin in precisely the way that they have to if they're going to try to prevent this kind of aggression.
You've studied Joe Biden. You've written a terrific biography of him, a really important book. I've covered him now for a long time as well. He's been spending the last 30, 40 years on national security and foreign policy. When he was a senator for 36 years, he was chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. He was vice president under President Obama for 8 years. To a certain degree, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been preparing for this kind of summit for decades.
Yeah, no, it's sort of uncanny, actually. The fact is, much of his professional life has been wrapped around these questions of how do you keep